Hi everyone, this is Killshot99 Gaming. This is The Walking Dead Season 10, Episode 8, Early Bold Predictions. We normally do these on Wednesday night, but we got to beat the time clock because the spoiler sites are just mad trying to get information out there. I do have to warn you, we are going to discuss one confirmed spoiler. It's not a big spoiler. It's a kind of a common sense spoiler, I guess. But I do have to warn you and let you know, and I'm just going to get it out in the stream really early on, and then we're going to go through several of the bold predictions. So we'll get that out of the way soon. Before we get into it, let me give a shout out to the Patreon Army, and I know a lot of times I give shout out. You guys see them up there on the video, and I never want to take that group for granted. An amazing group of people. But a lot of times like, hey, this is the new Patreon, or this is what's going on. But we do have a lot of patrons from time to time that will change their contribution, and I just want to give a shout out to Beth Burgett. A long-time patron as well, but increasing contribution as well. And thanks to each and every one of you for being here every single night and everything that you guys do. Let's get into it. So the spoiler that I promised is courtesy of Spoiling Dead's fan page. They are now reporting that Dante is gone in the next episode. I think that's a big sigh of relief for a lot of people. We knew it was going to happen at some point, but I guess the question is, will he take someone else out? Is he going to be there for a little bit of time? We know we get the backstory. So Dante is gone in episode number 8. Don't worry, we don't know how he's going to die yet, and that's where our bold predictions come in. So let's start it out with what goes down in the opening minutes. So it does go to show that Dante's life is kind of, well, it was a flash in the pan. It was short-lived. It was kind of meaningless except to cause death and destruction to other people, because we start out in this week's episode seeing the backstory. I guess they figured before they killed Dante, then we're just going to give him a little bit of a moment. Now, some people said, we need more of Dante's backstory. Guess what? We're never going to get it. We're going to get that little bit of backstory about Alpha, saying you haven't been with us very long, but we need you to do X, Y, and Z. Go in, make them trust you. He does all of those things. She says, you were a good boy. You did well at the barn. So closure to it. As I said earlier, a little rushed, but I think it was needed. Some people might want a little bit more, and we're just always going to go down in the conversation. Was Dante psychopath? Was Dante innately evil? Or was Dante PTSD, mental illness? So, after this week, it's not going to matter. I mean, we could debate it. We could go through back and forth. But it does look like Alpha pushed the buttons and was able to get him to do what she wants. So typically, I would say psychopath would probably lean toward being left to their own devices and doing what they want to do. So if I did have to make an argument, was Dante legit sick, I would say the way Alpha played him, probably there's an element of that in there as well. But let's get to the bold prediction side of that. So Dante, we know, is going to be in this scene with Rosita before all this other stuff goes down. The backstory will happen, but then we're going to get that kind of Rosita's holding Coco. Dante just killed Sadiq. Sadiq turns. And I need your best bold predictions. How does Rosita get out of that situation? How does Dante get distracted by Sadiq? Will Rosita have to kill Sadiq? This seems to go along the lines of this is how Dante is going to be found out. That maybe Sadiq's purpose at this point being dead is to stall Dante and keep Dante from killing Rosita. Because doesn't it kind of feel creepy? Like Dante's next move is he just killed Sadiq, and because Sadiq was on to him, now Rosita might be on to him. It's time for him to kill Rosita. That seems like the natural progression, but we know that's not going to happen because, why? We see Rosita standing there holding Coco. We know there's a funeral. Dante is not a part of that funeral. Dante is in jail. So, Singer Chick, I kind of like that. I think Rosita is on to him, but Sadiq and Dante, I think Walker Sadiq is going to have to attack Dante. They get tied up, Rosita escapes it. I feel like that's the narrative at this point. So, big stories coming out this week. And look, I can throw darts. We can go all over the place with which direction you guys want to start. We got Gamma Aaron. We got Michonne, Judy, Virgil. But here's one thing that I feel pretty comfortable in bold predicting. Every scene that we have not seen in the Comic-Con trailer will play out this week. How do I know that? Because they only film up to 8 before they show the Comic-Con trailer. And there's still several scenes that we have to see happen. We have to see Virgil, and we have to see the boat scene. The boat scene has to happen. Now, because the boat scene is happening this week, I'm going to give a super bold prediction. I know many YouTubers have staked their fame and their reputation on the fact that Michonne is in the boat and she's leaving to find Rick. I might have even suggested that once or twice. But I'm going to say that's not the case. I do not feel like this week is the last time we're going to see Michonne. But I do think Michonne is going to go on a boat ride because it was in the Comic-Con trailer. She is on the boat. She's not leaving forever. So I do think there's going to be, look, maybe it's just a moment to get away. Maybe it's something she hasn't done in a long time. You know, even in the most drastic circumstances on The Walking Dead, they find ways to give us that, you know, dog laying on his back, sun shining down, belly feels good moment. You know, Walking Dead gives you that every once in a while. This could be one of those things where Michonne is just like, hey, I haven't been on a boat in forever since this happened. This would be a good moment. So I feel like that moment is kind of that. I'm going to say no to the kidnapping because they're both sitting upright and she does not look uncomfortable on the sailboat. I think Virgil's legit. Virgil is going to be cut or attacked in some form by Judith. But that's kind of par for the course. Anybody that's new, I can tell you, I read faces pretty well. I think. Like, Alpha, bad face. Alpha's evil. Beta, bad face. Beta's evil. Virgil, good face. Virgil is good. There's no way that character can be evil. It's just impossible. So even though Judith gets the jump on him, Virgil's all good. Trust me when I tell you this. No sneakiness, no behind the scenes stuff. I mean, look at him. He looks like he couldn't hurt a fly. So I think that's all going to be a budding partnership now. Could Michonne take the boat? Could she leave later on? 9, 10, 11? Very possible. So I do think the initial scene with the boat was back in July with Comic-Con trailer, and I think it was sort of get everybody amped up like, that's it, Michonne's leaving. But we also know there still has to be a Michonne Lucille scene. So I'm looking forward to see how that's going to go down. And if we look at the summary, a fight causes tensions in Oceanside while Alexandrians set out on a high-stakes mission. So even though that doesn't tell us a lot, that tells us an awful lot. So the Alexandrians go out on a high-stakes mission. I'm going to ask the group this. Why now? Why are they suddenly angry and intent and going after Alpha? E. Beach says, good evening, Army. Thank you so much, Eric. Appreciate that super chat. And I will tell you guys, the reason it's happening is exactly the way we funneled it down. Exactly. Some people are saying after Lydia. See, I don't think so. I don't think this has to do with Lydia. If you guys remember back, maybe 8 weeks ago, we talked about the resiliency of our group. And there you go, Mist. See, Mist, boom, we're on the same wavelength here. We're seeing eye to eye, except your PDL character only has one eye. But you get the point. So we were funneling this down. What is it that was shocking? I'm going to give a kills coin to the first person. What was shocking to us about the overall demeanor of our group in Alexandria? What could we not understand? Kels, get the ledger ready, because this is going to be fast and furious. Exactly. Julia Muse, boom, right on the money. I told you guys it's going to be fast. Julia Muse getting her kills coin in early. Not fighting back. Why is our group not fighting back? And if you guys remember the stream, we said, look, it's weird. Michonne's, let's just do this. Let's not cross the border. And then we said, well, if the writers are setting it up that way, there has to be a reason. So when their back is against the wall is when they fight. So Dorothy Martin in the trailer, I saw a glimpse of Michonne in the boat. Absolutely, Dorothy. That is Michonne in the boat. There's no doubt. But I'm going to say Michonne is not leaving in the boat this episode to never come back. I think she's out on the boat. But I'm going to say it's a casual situation. Now, hey, they might be going around a little bit of the coast to spy on the Whispers, maybe from the boat. There could be, it might not be casual. It could be relevant to the story, but I don't think it's an exit. So thanks for that super chat. Keep that in mind. We'll touch on that a little bit more in a minute. So one thing about our group is when their back's against the wall, they will fight back. Now, the other thing that we talked about a couple of weeks ago is how it seems like we're all kind of running and our heart's beating faster and the action's getting more and more intense, like some wild animal. So this week seems like the culmination of all of that. That it's all going to happen fast and furious. Not like chess, it's going to be like speed chess. You do this, I do that. You do this, I do that. Alpha is going to start to panic. Our group is going to start to panic. Well, there's a mole inside Alexandria, which means there could be moles in other places. So you can either sit back and let her keep taking shots at you, or you can see while Alexandrians set out on a high-stakes mission. This mission could be to find Lydia. This mission also could be to kill Alpha. Does anybody here think the mission is to kill Alpha once and for all because one of her own just murdered one of our own? I don't think it's time to sit back and wait to see what they do next. They just poisoned your water. Now, why do we fight Alpha now? We just realized that we're at war. Everybody defended Alpha. Michonne said it. Other people said it. Well, we don't know if it was the Hoard. And then the tree falls. We don't know who cut the tree down. So it's all this giving Alpha the benefit of the doubt. Well, now you know what her MO is. You know what she's trying to do. She's responsible for all the stuff that happened. Now it's time to fight. So the group is not giving her any benefit of the doubt ever again. Northside Queen. No official leader to tell them what needs to be done like when Rick was there. Great point. So let me say this. I don't miss Rick on The Walking Dead. Many of you do. The group misses Rick's decisiveness and having a plan. Now, the question I have for you guys is, loaded question, would Rick sit back and wait and not fight back? You'll see. You'll see where I'm going with this. Half the people here are going to say, nope. But he did. He did with Negan. Why do you guys all of a sudden give Rick the benefit of the doubt and say Rick is the leader that would automatically go in there guns a-blazing? He didn't do it with Negan. He did not with Negan. He sat back for a certain amount of time waiting, and it got some people in trouble. Just that one time. That's all it took. That one time was consequential. I think by default, just hearing Rick Grimes, Rick can do no wrong, but I'm okay with it. I like Rick. I'm a Rick fan, but I just have to keep it honest from time to time. He laid back a little bit, then he played his hand, then he went after it, then, he did some stuff and some things. But the same could be said about Carol. Carol has almost played a similar role to what Rick did. She's been interested in Alpha all along, and she's kind of kept it close to the vest. But she hasn't had a strong plan. That I will say. I see where you're going with that, Jim. Touche. Are we black and white when it comes to Rick? It's a fair question. I think we can be at times. Rick is a hero. A misunderstood hero, right? So the group, in my mind, should not have been so naive. The group has made some critical errors along the way. E-Beach, okay, Kills. Tell us the significant events of 10-8. Oh, we're there. Some of the significant events are going to be disguised. One major significant event is going to be Gamma, after she cries her emotions out, coming up with a strategy and a plan. Gamma's coming back to give Aaron some information. Let's trade. Gamma is a person who's been lied to, manipulated, killed her sister, has a nephew out there that she wants to see. But one could argue Gamma finally has a purpose. And Darkstar, I think she was weak. I think she got a lot stronger now that she's had a little bit of time to see clarity. Hillbetty Detective, Sadiq dead. Will our group figure out the water? The water's fixed. So, even though they may not figure out the water, people are going to start getting well. Because now they're going to get good water. And you would hope somebody wouldn't bend the things back. Sadiq did fix all the water handles before his demise. We could also say, when Sadiq fixed the handles, it was afternoon. When Sadiq died, it was night. So Potentially, could Sadiq have told someone about the water? Could he had some interaction with someone? What's a little bit bizarre to me, and this will probably be a never-ending plot hole. How many of you were a little bit, some of you were in the stream last night, how many people were a little bit upset that Aaron didn't run back and tell everybody he saw Gamma cutting up walkers in the creek? Okay, a few. I wouldn't say we all were. I was not, because I thought he was distracted. But do you have the same level of frustration that Sadiq looks at the water and instead of telling Rosita, like, I think the water's poisoned, he goes, I have a big problem with this. He goes, I got to figure it out. You go back. And he kisses her and then he runs and he fixes the problem. So why not mosey on over to Father G's house and say, hey, I think all the handles were bent. We got a problem. There's a spy here. But then he's looking out the window and Dante walks in and still doesn't piece together that Dante might have been the person to poison the water. I mean, he knows it's been sabotaged. I would have gotten everybody together and had a major discussion. I don't think I would have carried that to bed with me. We got Joe Fulford in the house. Joe says, sorry for being off topic, but one of the things not discussed is who becomes the new doctor at Alexandria. The running joke is Scott. Apparently, they say Scott never dies. He should have been dead a long time ago, and the only way to kill Scott is to make him the town doctor. I'm sure they'll get one from Hilltop, or they'll get one from Oceanside. Dante. Dante's the current doctor. Until he's fired, Dante's on call. Doctor, not the doctor. Fair point. See, movie star, that's also a little bit confusing to me too. Is Sadiq kept blaming himself for the water, but he didn't bend the handles, and the wind didn't blow those things. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to use the word plot hole because it's overused. But I guess maybe it is a to be determined type of situation. Is it possible that Aaron did not piece it together, and now that Sadiq is dead, Aaron goes back and says, I saw her cutting things into the water, so clearly the water is what has poisoned everybody. I mean, maybe Aaron finally delivers that news a couple episodes late. If people really need the closure to it, I mean, Sadiq bent the handles back. That should be enough to move on from the water, and people start getting well. Ben Stevenson, maybe Sadiq worried he had done it in his sleep. Well, you know, the thing is, though, there's a lot of maybe. And certainly not to pour water on your parade. Haha. See what I did there, Ben? I mean, certainly we want to speculate. But when we get into the big maybes, then anything's possible. The thing is, we'll never know about Sadiq because he's dead. Everything we know about Sadiq, we're going to know. What we do know is that he could have he could have at least told Rosita what he was going to investigate. And it's not just The Walking Dead. It's every drama. I mean, raise your hand, give this video a thumbs up if you've ever seen a drama where somebody knew the answer and instead of telling the person sitting right beside them says, I got something I got to check out. I'll be right back. If you're that other person, wouldn't you like tackle them and say, hold on. Just 1 second. Why don't you tell me what you're going to check out? Just in case you don't make it back, I would like to know. So, I don't know. I'm making light. I'm having fun with it, but it's the truth. It's one of those things where don't split up, and you always split up. Or a car's in a high-speed chase in an action movie, and they go across railroad tracks, and the train always splits the difference between the car in front and the car in back. Well, I got to go check something out. Well, wait a minute. Tell me what you're checking out. Nope. What if I'm wrong? I don't want to look. I mean, I could play this dialogue out the whole time, but to me, there was a time period between Sadiq checking the water and Sadiq dying. I could go with Ben Stevens and say, maybe he did this, but I think it would be an extremely awkward transition if, after the funeral, Rosita says, about 8:30 last night before Sadiq went home, he stopped by and said there was something up with the water. I think we got to leave some things for our own interpretation. We can't spell every item that they do. Ben Stevenson looks at blurry picture, enhance, magically gets more clear. You guys are great, man. I love Tuesday's usually like my least favorite day, but I guess if we did bold predictions on Tuesday, it'd always be a lot of fun. So, a couple more stories we want to jump over to. We did talk about Virgil, but how about Daryl? Daryl going into that area that looks like Carol's location. Virgil is as good can be, Kimberly G. There's zero chance Virgil will be an enemy or a villain or anything along those lines. I mean, that opening certainly looks like Daryl's going into one of Alpha's little secret lairs, right? You guys catch that? Ready for... Okay. Make sure we're all here. Najee Watts, are we sure Gamma poisoned the drinking water supply? The water was fixed by the turn of a lever. So, the creek is not drinking water. So I'm going to give, because we love our water, Najee, and Ben Stevenson, this is truth, right? You are in water filtration. So you know a little bit something. I think Ben Stevenson is our real life expert in the field about water filtration. Yes. Okay. So here's my theory on Alexandria water supply system. That big lake that they have there and their wells, I'm going to say that lake accumulates rainwater, and that water comes in from the pipe A, from the right. And when that little nozzle is on drinking, that water goes through a water filtration system. And then I'm going to say the creek water is probably never drinkable. And the creek water are things that they would either have to boil, or they would use for their laundry, or they would use for other stuff. So that turn of a handle is a big deal. Tells you what you can drink and what you can't drink. So unless you have a spy, unless you have someone there that is sabotaging your water, which they haven't had that problem before, no need to even think about it. It's just a formality. Furthermore, you have to do both things. Gamma did not go out and decide to cut the walkers and poison the water. Gamma probably doesn't even know why she's doing it, or has not been explained to her. Alpha has said, well, Dante wrote her the note, hey, they have this thing. I'm going to sabotage the handles. The water comes in from the creek. So Alpha doesn't get everybody together and hear ye. This is the plan of the day. She tells Gamma, take the Guardians and do this. So Nick the Walker, the prisoner, none of these people know. Alpha's got multiple different schemes going on at the same time. This is why she's pretty badass, to be honest with you. And the only way, we have not seen her really trip up yet, except for her emotional ties to Lydia. Alpha's still a couple steps out in front, and I don't think she's done. But once we get her on the run, she doesn't have time to, think about all these wonderful master schemes. She's got to start reacting. And when it gets to that level, that's where our group starts to take the lead. That's where we get the advantage. So let's get back to our group putting Alpha on her heels. And you know what else happens? When our group gets the advantage, that's when the hoard gets unleashed. And that's when somebody is going to have to walk that hoard off the cliff. It's going to happen. So let me ask you guys right now, who's going to take that Andrea comic death? Let's think, 5 episodes in advance. You do this, we do this. You do this, we do this. Bam, 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 faster and faster. You know what? Tired of dealing with it. Hoard is unleashed. Then the group panics. Okay, I got to get rid of all these walkers. Somebody steps up and takes that role. We can see that playing out. Now, there's some trickery and some other conniving actions that are going to happen between now and then. And because this is bold predictions, I'm going to give and thanks for getting all your comments there. I see some people saying Ezekiel, some people say Kelly, some people say Connie. There's rumors about them, so we think one of them could not make it, but we'll see. Still not confirmed. That's a real wacky mess right now. But a lot of different ideas of who could kind of lead that. And that's further down the line. But let me give you guys something to think about for a mid-season finale cliffhanger. Something that has not been discussed yet. And I think it would play on our emotions, and I think it would be a great place to leave it. So, the rumor is that there may not be a death cliffhanger. But we've talked about Michonne, we've talked about Virgil, we've talked about Daryl, Alpha, Beta, Lydia, Gamma. There's one major character we haven't talked about, and I'm going to give a kills coin to the first person who can identify a big mystery. There you go. T-Love. Sign him up. Negan. All right. Just want you to bear with me. It may not happen, but I do want to go super bold prediction here. What if, you guys know how we're trying to keep Negan keeping the group on edge, not knowing if he's good, not knowing if he's bad. We know he's good, but could he do something to sort of cliffhanger it? Daryl charges in, knives looking for Alpha. Wouldn't it be a hell of a thing if Negan knocks out Daryl? Out of necessity, maybe whatever. But wouldn't that kind of leave everybody on edge? Like, what in the hell is he doing? And we have to wait 2.5 months to think, was he trying to save Daryl from getting attacked? Was he trying to show his loyalty to Alpha? I feel a Negan cliffhanger going. Something that's just not going to scream out hero. Daryl's running in blindly. He's panicking. He's looking for Alpha. Maybe. There's something that goes down between the two of them. I feel a Negan story happening because he did his thing. He's in the background right now, and I don't think they're going to leave him in the background for the mid-season finale. I think he's got to do something a little bit crazy, a little bit extreme. Yeah, but Fluff, there's always a cliffhanger. And I agree, last time they did a Negan cliffhanger, it ruffled some feathers. But when has there not been a cliffhanger? It's just a matter of how extreme the cliffhanger is. End of season 9, cliffhanger is, what's going to happen with Negan? I mean, there's always something. Where it kind of carries over. I don't think it's going to be like a lineup. I do think there's going to be some death. And a couple of weeks ago, we've done a couple surveys. We did the Pike video. I did a Patreon survey of most likely. Actually, you know what? I want to read this to you guys. Not trying to embarrass my Patreons, but I did add a Pulse survey, and this was on November 8th. So this is just 2 weeks ago. And don't call out my Patreons because many of you said the exact same answers. So I did a Patreon death poll, and it said, although the Walking deaths have been very few this season, there could be a ramp up. Pick which character is most likely to die before season episode 8. And let's give a kills coin to the first person who can correctly name the number one choice. First person that can correctly name who was most voted by the Patreons to die in the mid-season finale. There it is. We got J Spot J was the king. Number one answer was the king. I think we can fairly safely say that's wrong. Number two answer. Let's see if you guys can get the number two answer. The number two answer, I think, is right on the money. Number two answer was Luke. And I think Luke will die in episode number 8. I think Luke is a goner. I think Jules is shady. Luke is going to die. I am not going away from Luke. Luke was the number 2 pick. Number 3 was Kelly. Number 4 was Gage. And then a few other notables, Rosita, Gamma, Magna. Magna, yeah, there's some pretty good guesses on there. But I'm going to say Rosita's safe. I think Ezekiel's safe. Don't think that Luke is safe. And exactly, Gage is still alive. Gage is Scott. Never going to die. All right, hey, we got a couple more topics we're going to jump on. A ton of people here. We've had probably almost 1,000 people since we started the stream. You guys that are still here, 300-400 people in-house. Everybody do me a favor. If you like the bold predictions, if you like our reaction videos, Play Dead Live, everything that we do during the week, last night we did triple streams. Tonight, double shots. Tomorrow, we're going to do 3 different streams tomorrow night. We're just having a ton of fun mid-season finale. You guys do me a favor. If you guys enjoy the channel, like being a part of the 999 Army, then click that like button, just like Dante. Do it. Come on, everybody. Slide that mouse over. I promise you, it's very little effort. And here's the deal. I'll give you guys a 2-part scenario. If you don't like what we do, give it a thumbs down. Fair enough. Not going to ask you guys to like something you don't like, but if you don't like it, let me know. We appreciate the feedback. We want to know what we can do better. But I think we got a pretty good group. I think we got a pretty awesome group, actually. We got a Tim Lamora. What's up, Tim? Good to see you. Tim Lamora says, maybe Negan saves Lydia for the mid-season finale. Hey, I'm certainly down with that. It does further enhance his hero role. I do feel like they're going to give him a little bit of balance, though. Not evil, not cast him in that light, but questionable. That's the word I was looking for the other night. I need to see Negan's questionable decision-making. Heart of Nixie, is there a reason why Sadiq, possibly Dante, are not sufficient death for the mid-season? I don't know. I don't know if it's a question of, what do you mean by sufficient? You mean the bloodlust of the viewers type of sufficient? I mean, is that... I mean, I'm assuming, and I mean that a good way. It's like, okay. I don't think it's a question of what the viewers desire. I think it's where we're at in the story. We know that this war is ramping up, and it just seems a little naive on my part to think that there's not going to be more death. That we can have a war without casualties. Certainly the casualties have to ramp up. Now, the lack of realism, I guess, from the war is that probably if I would take the adverse approach to kind of, why could there be more deaths? I would ask you the question, why aren't there more deaths? And I think the answer to that question is because it's a show based on our connection with the characters, and we can't kill off characters. I mean, how many shows have you seen where the hero of the show tripped, fell, broke his arm, got shot, and a week later it was almost as if they never got shot? I don't know about you guys, but I've never been shot. Carl was shot in the eye, and Carl lived. So, based on... here's the thing that I would say. What's more believable? Carl could be shot in the eye and live with very primitive medicine, or Sadiq could die with a tumor that might be able to be removed from his throat, thyroid cancer. I would think Ezekiel. I would think that Ezekiel would have just as much of a chance as Carl. But Carl lived through that. And so I guess the thing is, when it's a show, you can't kill everybody. Realistically, you'd probably just unleash the horde, kill everybody. I'm going to give you guys like a really whacked out idea. I'm gonna disprove something just for fun. We're having fun tonight. You guys having a good time? If you're not having a good time, I won't bring it up. If you are having a good time, I'm gonna go a little bit off the rails. So I need to know before I bring this up. Okay. It's silly. I mean, it's silly. So, why did Alpha not release the hoard on Alexandria? You guys know when I ask you a question, I already have an answer, right? Great answers, everybody. Oh, you guys are awesome. Okay, Lydia, duh. I love this, Parkman. I love the duh. So here you go, genius, Parkman. Why didn't Alpha write Dante a note and say, hey, Dante, throw Lydia on your shoulder, kidnap her in the middle of the night, get her ass here so I can release the hoard on Alexandria? Didn't think of that one yet, did you? But no. Let's leave Lydia there, poison the water, kill everybody very slowly. When there's only one person in the whole city that we care about, just kidnap her. Get her out. Then they would have no story. But, I mean, if you really want to break it down, certainly there wouldn't be a story, but get Lydia out of there. Well, maybe she wants to recruit, but who are you recruiting in Alexandria? And what if one of the people you were going to recruit is Cheryl? Cheryl might have been like candidate number one, and she got poisoned and then suffocated. It could be. I'm not saying it's bad. I told you guys I was going to just give you an alternate theory, but it seems like to me that would be a little bit easier. Justin Brown, do you think Dante freed Negan due to him saving Lydia? I don't think Dante freed Negan. I don't think it was Sadiq, because Sadiq's dead. I don't think it's Dante, because Dante's going to be dead. I think it narrows it down. I'm going to narrow it down to 3 people. Father G freed him because he didn't want him to die. Number 1. Or Carol freed him because she needed a reason to go out and look for him and to work her magic. Or 3, Aaron freed him because either Aaron wanted to pay him back for him saving Aaron's life, or Aaron and Negan have some strategy working. I mean, those to me are the only 3 possibilities. And I don't mind entertaining any of them. I wouldn't say Jim 09. I wouldn't say any of them are black and white, because I don't think we've gotten enough data. And what's funny is I love when you guys come out and say, I think he did this, I support that. But when you say, Carol freed him and you're definitive, then, you're going to have to give me more proof. If it's your opinion that Carol freed him, I believe in your opinion. If you think it's factual that Carol freed him based on no data and not seeing it, then it's kind of a weak argument. You're going to have to give me a little bit more facts. Now follow it up and say, I like the idea that Carol let him out. And then when Daryl was asking her, like, where's Negan? Well, we followed him up to this point. She seemed to have a little bit of extra intel about Negan, which I thought was cool. I don't think that Daryl freed him. It would strictly be for he's in. I mean, I guess. I mean, I don't think so, but I can't argue your point. I mean, Daryl certainly could have seen that they were going to kill him and thought that's what Michonne would do. I'm fine with that. I mean, I don't think it's Andy exiled him. Fair enough. Fair point. To me, it seems like the weaker argument of the four, but it certainly has some factors. So I've hit on most of the bullet points here. We talked about the boat, Michonne, Judith meeting Virgil, Daryl with Alpha, could be a potential Negan play in that. Gamma bringing the news. Looks like Gamma might finally be turning on Alpha. She's got nothing to believe in. The Dante death, we know. That's a confirmed spoiler, as we talked about earlier. We will get the Dante backstory. I think we're going to get a Luke death. Not because I have a bloodlust and I need to see Luke die, but because I think that... Well, let me ask this. How many people saw the additional head on the pike in this week's intro? That you can definitively see 3 different heads now instead of the 2 on the left and the right. Now we saw a glimpse of the third one in the middle. Go back and watch this week's episode. You'll see it. So my question is, to those of you, why do we keep seeing these heads added to pikes that are different heads on pikes if we're not going to see additional heads on pikes? I don't think that's just a random thing that they're doing in the intro. So, and ultimately I know it's kind of a long-winded answer back to Heart of Nixie's question, is to me that says, buckle up everybody. We're getting ready to see some things. We're going to see the dark side of Alpha. We're going to see the group want to kill some of the Whisperers. But I would expect Dante and another, not a major death, but another death. And then I think in the second half, around 11, 12, 13, right before potentially Alpha is toast. Got to take some other people out. I mean, she's got to do some more work. Now, if it's just a Luke or just a Magna, I think that'll lessen the blow on the audience. But let me start to wind the stream down with a couple questions. Which major believable death, and by believable, I don't think Michonne's going to die. She could, but I don't think so. Carol ain't going to die. Daryl ain't going to die. But which major believable death would most affect you? If you give me one that's unrealistic, I'm not even going to entertain it. I don't know that Luke would be major, Joey. I think Luke is kind of borderline. To me, Ezekiel, Jerry, Connie's probably borderline. I don't know Connie's quite major, Denise. I think she's going to need to be on the show a little bit more. Aaron could die. I'm not going to say Rosita could die. I think Rosita, Aaron are probably 2 big names. Ezekiel, another big name. Connie, Magna, Yumiko, that group. I don't know that I would give them A status yet. I think I need to see them another season. Lydia is probably let me ask this question. Lydia, bigger character than Connie or Magna? at this point? I want to get kind of your feel for that. I would say Lydia is slightly bigger, slightly more relevant. Maybe not huge, but slightly, I would say. So a Lydia death, to me, would classify maybe as a major death. I see Lydia and Jerry kind of in that same bucket of status. We got Tyler Neifert says dog. I don't think dog's dying. I think if they ever thought about killing dog, their side story would be dog runs away. That's the best and not best, but you know what I mean. That's the closest we're going to get. Dog runs away. Well, they killed Shiva. See, I would argue, Taya, no. I mean, dog, skid mark. Shiva was pretty emotional. In fact, Derek's like, but she was CGI. Derek, they're not really killing the dog. So, why are you guys telling me the tiger's not real? Well, if dog dies, the death of dog is not real. You guys, come on, get off it. I'm not even going there. They're not really going to kill a dog on television. Just like, newsflash, they didn't really choke Sadiq last week. Otherwise, the actor that plays Dante would be in jail for murder. Shiva was a big deal. Knuckleheads. Shiva was probably one of the most... Let me give you an example. Honestly. Based on... Come here. Good boy. That and the connection that Ezekiel had with Shiva, who's a bigger death? Don't give me because you see. Shiva or dog? What is the bigger death on the show if both were to die? You guys better not say dog. Not one person better say dog. Get out of here. Shiva by far. You guys are nuts. Derek Patterson. Why are they making Magna so unlikable? I think she dies this weekend. You know what? Anybody said I'm putting my hand over chat right now. I'm not even gonna be disappointed by the amount of people. Dog has done very little. Shiva, there's a backstory with Shiva. Derek, to your point, I don't know. I don't know why they're making Magna unlikable. I mean, I guess the answer is they could be making her unlikable before they kill her. But hasn't Magna always kind of been a little bit unlikable? I mean, for me, the first time I saw Magna, look, Magna was Dante with long hair. Tell me something Magna has done good. She strolled in there wanting to steal from Alexandria. She had a knife. You thought she was going to kill Michonne until she saw RJ. And then she didn't learn from that. And then she stole from Hilltop again. So, I don't know. I think they're just... Derek, I think they're making Magna. And she could die. She could die very soon. I think she will die. I don't think she'll die this weekend, but I think she's going to die in the next few episodes. Crawfish. Oh, come on, Crawfish. I don't disagree with you. Disney killed Old Yeller. Traumatic. You know what? Crawfish, if I asked this group which character was a greater, more relevant character in the history of literary works or movies, this group would say dog on The Walking Dead is a higher status symbol than Mufasa or Bambi or Old Yeller. I'm not even going to do it. I'm not even going to go down that road because I'm going to be trolled all night tonight. Like, it's not going to be orange anymore. Anytime there's a question, it's going to be dog. That's going to be the answer. So I told you guys we're gonna go off the rails tonight and have a good time. So I've hit pretty much every bullet point we wanted to talk about. It's like now like we got Lassie, Thumper, like every animal in the history of animals is now being listed, and they all pale in comparison to dog. Because it's Daryl's pet. Because we can't afford to see Daryl upset about losing something. And God forbid he loses dog and Connie in the same season. That's a possibility. Then he's going to go complete Carol mode. He's going to check out Snoopy. All right, everybody. Hey, we're at 1 hour. I want to thank all of you guys for being here. Great time tonight. Thanks for hanging out with us. Last call, one more thumbs up. If you guys like what we do, you like hanging out with us, tomorrow night's going to be a little bit crazy, everybody. Toto. You mean the group Toto? Or, you know what? As we roll out, leave your favorite movie animal of all time up in the chat. We'll have some fun with that. Tomorrow we're going to be doing a 7 o'clock stream right here. We're going to be doing an 8 o'clock stream on the 999 Dead channel, and then we'll be doing a 9 o'clock stream, 9:30 stream, sorry, will be the late one right here. If spoilers come out, we will be doing spoiler streams. So just want to give you guys a heads up. Stay tuned. I will announce it on our fan page, or you'll see big warning letters. Just be ready that our complete schedule could change tomorrow. If spoilers are out there, then, some people, they don't want the full spoilers. They're going to check out, and I fully get that. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you guys are wondering what we're going to do next week, we got some brand new shows we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing, we probably won't do Mashup Mondays. Next week, we're going to be doing some Walking Dead recap and some theories. But the week after that, we're going to get into kind of our off-season schedule, which is going to be a little bit of Monday mashups, random things on Tuesday nights, what if Wednesdays, freestyle Friday. We got a lot of cool stuff planned for you guys. So appreciate you guys being here. If you're new, thank you. Hopefully you'll come back and see us very, very often. We do this every night. So Tyler Neifert says, I think Kills needs a new dog Funko Pop. Oh, no. There will be one. However, I did almost buy... It was on clearance. There was a little Lydia, and it had a Whisperer mask. So I might go back and pick that up. I was just doing a little bit of... had to take my phone in for service. If you guys don't know, there was a screen recall on the iPhone 10. So, that was going a little bit crazy. And then, I kind of got off the rails after my phone, and I was looking around a mall. Those things still exist. And I saw some Funko Pops and some little miniatures. And, the Lydia little Whisperer was cool, had a Whisper mask and everything. So I might add that to my collection. All right, that's a little bit of overtime, a little bit of extra information. Thanks for everything that you guys do. I want to give a shout out to the patrons in the top left-hand corner. Thank you to all the patrons. As I said, thank you, Beth Brigette, for raising your contribution. Great group of people up there. Support this channel, have supported this channel for a long time. If you guys are interested in becoming a patron, participating in some of those surveys I mentioned earlier about our Pike survey, they add some PDL content as well. They get some behind-the-scenes stuff. There is a link down below. We also got in the top right-hand corner our PDL sponsors. Be here on Friday night. We're doing part 2 to our River Rage. We had a great campaign last week. We're going to continue that. A few new surprises, but that group up there in the top right-hand corner, they bring that show to you guys every Friday night. It's completely sponsored by them. So thank you to the PDL sponsors. My green team. Where's my green team with the emojis? Here's the thing. Were some of you guys freaking out? How many people had green team withdrawals last night? Because when we do the 999 Dead channel, the memberships don't carry over. So there were some people last night, they're on there like, oh my God, I'm in this other channel and I don't have all my emojis. So I see people love their emojis, and thank you so much. Appreciate all of you guys. And if you guys are interested in how long people have been members, take your cursor and scroll over and you'll see like Angel. Trigger, 6 months. Lynn Nesvik. Look at that, 4 months for Lynn Nesvik. Beth, member for 2 months, but as I said before, strong patron supporter. Newfield 12, look at that, 8 months. So just some special shout outs to all of you guys. Appreciate not only you guys being members, but being members for a long, long time. Unbelievable support. Super chatters as well. You guys seen some of the super chatters up there tonight. They get their comments included. Absolutely a great group of people. And my moderators. See the moderators in blue? Emmy, Steph, Tommy, Kels. Can everybody here just give them a shout out? They work as hard on this channel as I do, tirelessly. They're on our fan page. They're looking at content there. You know, unbelievable group of people. So thank you so much to the moderators and then to each and every one of you. I will see you all 7 o'clock tomorrow night right here. 8 o'clock, 999 Dead, 9:30 right back here. Have a good night, everybody. Peace.